Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, tonight's statement is Alexa Havins joins the cast of General Hospital as new Lulu Spencer. Now, I'm hoping this time, because since this is actually on Twitter and this is on some soap blog that actually seems like they're legit, that this whole thing is true. And it's not like 2 weeks ago, my thumbnail was how do we sit there and say phony baloney? I had a lot of different thoughts about what the title should be. And one of them, well, Kyrie's did it. But I'm really tempted to do it. I want to do something different since everyone talked about it on his stream. But I feel like we're going to have to circle back around to that question because I got my own thoughts about that. Now, we're going to be sitting there talking about all the soaps, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. Let's sit there and do a quick roll call and get this live stream started. We got a lot to talk about, people. We got a lot to talk about. We may have some stuff in the members stream to talk about too, which is tomorrow. Amy's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Kai Wan is in the chat. How you doing tonight? At the bank is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Blackmon, aka Mr. GQ, is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ronnie Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Laura B is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Is it not? Justin is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Also, let's sit there and give a birthday shout out to Darby. Happy birthday, Darby. And I will sit there and post. I'll make a post about that. Why is it okay? We'll make a post about that tonight. Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Francis is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Obi says I'm bummed the place where you was working is going to close. Lorby says I'm bummed the place where you was working is going to close. What are you talking about, Queen? I'm doing good, Blackmon. I'm doing good. I did all 4 soaps. I'm very iffy about my review. Towards the YNR, I may release that tonight. I may redo it. We'll see. But I feel like I'm crushing it. I feel like I'm crushing it. Oh, that you're working. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm doing good, Blackmon. I am doing good. Let's take this off. We got a lot of stuff to sit. We got a lot of stuff to sit there and talk about. I really want to sit there and do the question that Kyrie did. I may do it. I'll probably want to do it the next week though. And it's only because he did it this week, and I didn't want to sit there and be repetitive. I figured, I'll do mine next week. At least it won't be so fresh. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, Laura B. Justin says Jason was right. Carly is getting mixed up with the wrong bunch of people. Yeah, but hey, listen, it's just to save Lulu, you make a deal with the devil if you have to. Ed says, I think Holly forgive EJ because she needs a parent and a parent figure. Yes, because yes, I did sit there. I had some questions about that. Oh, Lobby asked, what the question? Lobby asked, should Holly forgive Eric? Should Holly forgive Eric? And I was really tempted to sit there and ask that same question, but I felt like it was literally a couple of days ago. And I'm like, I'm not gonna it was like I'm not gonna sit there and have our audience sit there and re-go through that question in my stream, and it was literally a couple of days ago. So it was a good question that he asked. I said that in my video, but I had a couple other questions of mine as well. But just for me personally, that's a DUI right there. And if we're gonna be honest, I'm a little appalled. I'm somewhat appalled at Days of Our Lives for trying to make Eric comes across as sympathetic because listen, Eric made a choice. That was a DUI, right? You chose to get behind the wheel of a car, and we're gonna talk about that too, Ed. You chose to get behind the wheel of a car. You drove drunk. You killed Holly's dad. Okay. Part of me is like, I don't know if that should actually be forgiven, to be honest. Ron says, "What's your thought on Tate and Eric scene? Also, Sophia hearing everything. Sophia is a creep and a loser. Okay, and she's super desperate. She's a creep. That woman is a creep. Okay, this is not the first time that she's been hiding. She's been hiding in bushes and everything else. Like the woman is just a straight up creep. And Eric was kind of a hypocrite. You're gonna sit there and tell Tate to give Holly some time and space, but yet you're gonna go out there to try to find her. Obi said, "Thanks, Albert, for the sympathy. Thanks, Albert, for the sympathy." What do you mean? Well, Ed, that's going to be a good question. About I don't know about uh, the slipping him like pills and stuff like that, but she is being a creep and a stalker. Carwan says, "Is she on the show today?" No, she's not on the show today. They announced it, I think a couple of days ago. Carwan, they announced it a couple of days ago, so she's not on the show yet. But I mean, my whole thing is like, how are we supposed to then have sympathy for a guy who got behind the wheel of a car intoxicated and wound up killing someone? Like seriously, how do you sit there and forgive that? In all reality, yeah, exactly, Francis. But see, that's my whole thing, though. Like, you're basically trying to paint Eric as this sympathetic. Oh, poor Eric. He's hurt. What's good, Deluxe? He's hurting. He lost his. He lost his relationship with Holly. I was like, he also got behind the wheel of a car and killed their dad. How are we sitting there trying to make Eric the sympathetic one when he literally drove drunk? Like that to me, that is so insane to me. The days of our lives. What's good, Solomon? Yeah, it actually has been a while. That is so insane to me that they're trying to sit there and paint Eric as as sympathetic. The guy got behind the wheel of a car, a DUI. You know what happens with some people that gets DUIs, and it's not him, but they get it over and over and over to a point where their car has to get modified to taking a breathalyzer test every time they get in the car. That is absolutely insane to me. But we're supposed to sit there and somehow have forgiveness and sympathy for Eric? What's good, Danny? Ron says up at Phoenix in the video is Connie's days a number. He talks about Jada finding Melinda. Yeah, exactly, Ron. I mean that's cool. I mean, I saw the preview, so he just talked about what I saw. But that's cool. Ed says, I think Alexis got arrested because remember, Christina says she was outside the Q's mansion. What if she was driving Alexis' car at the time? I'm still wondering how. Yeah, I have no idea how she got arrested. I really don't understand. I mean, that's a nice theory. It's just I want to understand how did Mac have charges against her. Francis says you made the terrible choice to drink and drive should pay consequences, especially if you kill someone. Exactly, and if that means that y'all don't have a good relationship anymore, then that's exactly what that means. Um, I don't have sympathy for a guy who got behind the wheel of a car, and I don't understand how days it's meant they're trying to paint a picture of a guy who got behind the wheel of a car and killed somebody else. And then what? Holly's just supposed to sit there because somebody even said that in my comments. Somebody was like, "Yeah, Holly should forgive Eric." I was like, "Why? Eric killed her dad. Eric made a selfish choice that night that could have killed her dad and anybody else." But she's supposed to somehow forget. She's supposed to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I know you killed my dad like 17 something years ago, but you know, at some point I got to sit there and like, no." Like I feel like there's certain things in this world that is just unforgivable. Now Solomon says, I was surprised when Sharon raised her voice at Lucy this week. That black mama came out of her. Other than that, the rest of the young wrestlers was incredibly boring. I enjoyed that scene. I didn't think that Sharon did anything wrong. I think that Daniel was out of pocket talking about what you're talking to a kid like that. Your kid brung up the most painful, worst day in her life because she doesn't understand she doesn't fully understand the concept of life and death. And clearly she didn't think it was a big deal. But Sharon's supposed to sit there and what, lower her tone even more? You for Jesus Christ. Thank you, Francis. Days of sugarcoating DUI is not a good message. It's not a good message. It's a terrible message. It's a goddamn thank you. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, Francis. I kind of like that scene. But to be fair today, Francis, I love the scene with Audra. Yeah, listen. They don't sit there and say va 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 boom for no reason. That's all I'm gonna say. Laura B says it's a complicated situation with Eric and Holly. Eric kills someone, but Eric is an alcoholic that is a disease. I should have probably did this one tonight. Well, hell, we're talking about it anyway, so what else? Like I said, Francis, there's a lot of women that's not built like her. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, Francis. After Nate just said all the right things, and I mean, he must have said all the right things because she was livid. She was pissed off, and he didn't just calm her down. He didn't just calm her down. He encouraged her and supported her and said that, you know what, listen, this one day is not going to be a permanent setback. You are an amazing, smart, intelligent, brilliant woman. You're not just going to sit there and survive this, you're going to thrive. I mean, he said, like, for instance, let me tell you something. He said all the right things to the point where like, when I saw them making out and everything like that, I actually cracked up. As says, Eric always quick to forgive, is always quick to want forgiveness when he messes up. But Holly, everyone else holds everyone else to a higher standard when he needs space. I did, Francis. I laughed. I'm not gonna lie, Francis. Part of that was just kind of hilarious. Like it wasn't meant to be funny, but I guess it was just so funny because it was like it's like Francis. Like I don't know what you said to this woman, but she went from being angry to things that I can't talk about on YouTube. Now, Solomon says, I agree. I don't think Sharon was wrong for raising her voice at Luciana. If Lucy was 6 years old, it would have been a different story. But she's like 16. She was wrong, and she could take it. And yeah, exactly. And she could take it. And honestly, tell you the truth, my whole thing is Solomon, as parents, Daniel and Heather clearly failed that girl. Okay, because she's getting all sorts of attitudes. She's not there acting like Francis, I kind of said it was like it's about goddamn time. We all knew it was happening, Francis. It was more of it's about damn time at this point. Now, Danny says Albert liked this crazy story, searched the website today, saw lots of buzz and a picture of actress plays Sam from General Hospital fans to make her. Oh, yeah, it's a petition that they're having going on. That's sweet. That's nice, Lord B. You have a very compassionate heart. That's what I said, Francis. I was like, it's about. I really sat there looking at my phone. Was like, yo, what day is this? Okay, I think I kind of waited long enough. Oh, what was your question, Rod? Okay, yeah, I know. Why do I feel like I have to sit there and keep saying this over and over again? I'll read your question and I'll say what everyone is already knowing I'm going to say. Ron says Holly is really a spoiled brat. I understand her anger at both Eric and Nicole not telling her the truth, but to turn around and say she left me behind without lying because she didn't want to leave. Ah, trying to get me. Yes, exactly, Ron, because all roads lead back to Clyde Weston. Deluxe says, "Is it not weird that they had a brunch where Kate was killed at days prior?" Yes, yes, it is. I can't even sit there and try to ignore that. It's like, yes, I personally do think that John was an animal that needed to be put down. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I read some stuff where people was saying that Sonny was out of pocket and he was out of line, and John was messed up and everything like that. But they didn't need to kill him. No, they did need to kill him because Sonny is a mobster. I think people forget that Sonny is a actual mobster. He is a criminal. Okay, he does bad things. Yes, he has a good side. He is a complicated man, but let's not sit there and try to forget that Sonny is a mobster. So for anyone that's not there being like, oh well, John shouldn't have died, and you know, they didn't have to kill him, and what Sonny did was cold blooded. Yes. What do you think? What do you people think that a mobster is? Listen, Sonny may sit there and donate money to the hospital wing. He may sit there and help people out like Stone and love Carly. He may have compassion in his he may have space in his heart for love. Let's not sit there and try to forget that he is a villain in a sense. Okay, he gets blood money. How do you think that he's rich, and how do you think that he stays rich? So when people sit there and say, "Well, he didn't need to sit there and kill John," the hell he did. Francis says Sonny point blank murder case, as he should. Francis, as he should. He is a mobster. That's what mobsters do. Okay, I feel like I need to sit there and say this. There is 26 people in this chat. There is one of me. So if I sit there and take it personal. Susan R. Was good, Susan R. Laura B. I don't remember if you were in the chat when we sit there and we sat there and we talked about it. I wish the actress the best. I do. I heard it was for a reason of her not agreeing to a pay cut. Whatever it is, I wish her the best. Okay? Well then that makes her. It's a crappy thing to do, Ron. It's a crappy thing to do. She's obligated to do it. She's supposed to do it. If she doesn't do it, it's going to look bad on her, just like it did with Marcus. Now, Marcus did sit there and say he had a reason for why he did it because of his sickness and his illness, but still, I think it'll be very bad on her. Rowan. He was Francis, but you know the bigger point is Francis. Yes, um, he was out of control, but I don't feel bad for him because he was a mobster. You know, Sonny is a mobster. It's like Francis. It's like a person jumping into a lion's den at a zoo, and then the lion decides he wants to sit there and eat that person. Okay, the lion is going to be a lion. Sonny is a mobster. He's going to be a mobster. Solomon says Josh Griffin is really effed up the story with Kyle and Claire. Let me guess. Good old sweet Virgin Claire is going to make Kyle a better person and soften in heart. Really give me a break. Well, you know, Solomon, I'll sit there and say this. It's sort of like General Hospital in a sense. Okay? So, Solomon, just like you said, or what it is, Claire, in reality, Solomon, Claire makes Kyle tolerable. Like Spencer, like Trina made Spencer tolerable. You know, that's the thing, Solomon. It comes down to being tolerable. And now Ron says, Albert, glad that Kristen didn't fall for EJ's blackmailing threats. She told him he can take it and shove it up his blank. Yes, it was a bluff, Ron, and Kristen's good at doing that. You know, she's a smart woman, and you know, she's a badass in all right. I mean, my whole thing is, you know, I've said this, just me personally thinking that yeah, they didn't write for her. At the same time, Kelly Monaco's character, the Samantha character, has ran its course. Okay, she has been on this show for 20 something years. That's an accomplishment. Okay, and nobody can take that away. But her character has ran its course, and it is what it is. Um, Actors get fired and let go all the time. Okay, and people are sitting there acting like this is a huge shock to the system. Like, oh my god, I can't believe she's leaving. It's it's not the end of the world. This is not the first actor in history that's ever been fired. And sometimes, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get that most people have legitimate reasons or whatever, but like, you know, it is what it is. This is a business, you know, and you got to go, and that's the bottom line. Like, Eagle Fan said, "What's good, Albert? Xander really is the only person that belongs in jail for his unconscionable anger. He's more angry than his own wife. Go to anger management, my dude. You're acting like a wild Karen." Okay, Eagle Fang, I'm gonna respect your opinion. I'm starting off by saying I'm gonna respect your opinion, Eagle Fang. Now, here's my thing. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not feeling this kumbaya shit with Sarah and Maggie. Okay, Maggie practically was like, you know, at some point we're gonna have to sit there and just move on from this tragedy. Maggie, how are you so cool with the fact that, thank you, Lord, but yes, make sure you hit that damn like button. It is better, Sharian. It is better. I am, okay, hold on. Solomon says, I get what you're saying, Albert, but it feels like the story wrote itself. Kyle was the reckless bad boy with Claire, the kind, sweet nanny. They could have had Kyle use Claire for a blank and dumped her. Well, I mean, if they did that, Solomon, that would actually be a shitty story. I mean, Solomon, I'm not gonna lie, that would actually be a worse storyline. Use her and then dump her. I don't know about that. But Princess Albert chased at Finn's out of rehab next month. How do you think they will end Finn's character car accident? Um, I hope not. I think maybe, Francis, I think maybe they'll sit there and just have Ben just move away from Port Charles and start somewhere fresh. And then if they decide they want to reuse the character with a different actor, they can do that instead of just killing them off. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, Francis, they're already supposedly, allegedly going to kill um Sam's character off. So Francis, they're not going to sit there and kill Sam and kill off Finn at the same time. Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, Molly. Let's put it this way: Molly and that actress has been killing it. Has been absolutely killing it, Ed. And I agree. Okay, so let's go back to Eagle. I'm gonna get to your question in 1 second, Ryan. In all fairness, Eagle Fang, I feel like the only people that's acting a little unrealistic is Maggie and Sarah. Okay, Xander is actually the person that's making sense. He is pissed off that the love of his life is in a wheelchair. What's good, Jilly D? Jillian, Jilly. So to sit there and say that he's acting like an uncontrollable Karen, you married the love of your life, and then you find out that he wound up hitting and paralyzing your wife. Eagle says at least have the facts before you go attack more. He doesn't even. Yes, okay, Eagle thing. I can agree with that. I can agree with that to some extent, Eagle. I can agree with that to some extent. But I guess my whole thing is Eagle Fang compared to the way that Maggie and Sarah are just like, what's good, Sean? Compared to the fact that Sarah and Maggie are just so like, oh, well, let's just let bygones be bygones. We're family. Let's just move on. I feel like he's the only person that has more of a realistic attitude than two of those characters combined. Okay, now Ron says, I wish your thoughts on Fiona stopping Xander from attacking. I Ron, I'm looking forward to her explanation. I don't think that she's going to confess, but if she's not going to confess, then it's going to have to be something big to make her to get Xander to stop from him swinging a baseball bat. So whatever it is, Ron, is going to be good. I don't know what it is. I've heard rumors, but I'm not going to sit there and speculate until it actually comes out and we can sit there and talk about it. So yeah, I mean Eagle Fang. I think the problem is Eagle Fang. What it really comes down to is that you have a wife and daughter. Oh, and we got a new person, Cassie. I think that's like Peanut's name, right? Cassie. Sophia is a generic Jan Spears. Yeah, she's except for less cringy. I would sit there and say she's less cringy than Jan Spears. And let's everyone welcome Cassie. Let's everyone welcome Cassie into the chat. Unlimited, how you doing? It's been good. It's good to see you. How have you been? And it says, I see why you couldn't say what you wanted about RJ and Nate. See Nate winning right now, and I love a few of their scenes. So this had been. Listen, like I said, Ed, I say this much. Um, and I'm gonna get to that question in 1 minute. Thank you, RB. He must have said the right words, cause yeah. Solomon says, Albert, so you mean to tell me you don't think that the storyline with Kyle uses sweet, kind Claire for sex, and then dumps her, goes back to Summer will be interesting. I think it would actually be fucked up. And the thing is, Solomon, he's his thing. I'll tell you why. And what's good, Kristen? He needs a couple of redeeming. He needs a couple of redeeming characteristics. He's already proven that he acts like a incredible entitled jackass on a given basis. Okay, I think if he did that, like it's already adding to a bad situation. He already has a lot of negative points against him. So yeah, I don't think it would actually. I no, he's already has a lot of bad negative things about him that he does. We ain't trying to add any more. He's already damn near intolerable just to watch. If we're gonna be honest. Barbie said, I don't know what is wrong with Maggie and Sarah's reaction. People react tragedy in different ways. Lorby, for me personally, I don't feel like, and I get that, Lorby, I do. I guess for me, it's just like, I have a bit of a problem with it, Lorby. Like, I can respect it. I cannot, like, I'm not, okay, let's put it this way, Lorby. I'm not coming down on them bad when I'm sitting there saying that they have a stupid reaction. I don't necessarily agree with the reaction though, because I look at it and I'm like, this man put your daughter in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Okay, this man has changed the course of her entire life and how she goes about being her mother to her daughter. And you're sitting there telling me that the only thing that you can come up with is I hope that we somehow can move forward. What's good, Big Nate? You're not a little bit angry. You're not a little bit mad about the situation. You're not just saying, well, damn, I'm angry. That's my little girl. And now she has to be in a wheelchair for the rest of her life because of a terrible choice, a decision that you made. And you're sitting there telling me that it's just supposed to be kumbaya and, we're family. Let's just move forward. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of look at that and be like, and yes, I understand that, but for me, it's a little off-putting to sit there and be. And I'm not saying that she's loving him and throwing him a parade, but a little anger, a little resentment towards the bad decision that he made, instead of just being like, "Well, it's a disease and it's understandable." Because in our reality, I just don't know if people could just sit there and just like that. And it says also, I watched her last live, so this entire time, right? And they never had any scenes together. Yes, apparently not. I know, and every time I sit there and I watch it, I'm just like, yeah, this is a little kind of weird. It's a little kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, Ed. And it was DC that pointed that out. And thank you, Francis. Yes, make sure you hit that goddamn like button because it really does help. Orby says, if was anger, I would not be surprised. It's a natural reaction. But that's the problem, Laura B. When you're angry and you're mad, you're going. Was good. Okay, last day. Let's try that again. Um, that's the thing, Laura B. When you're mad, you're angry. Being a hypocrite is the last thing that's on your mind. I know that, Laura B, because I know when I get mad and I get angry, I'm not sitting there thinking about I have no room to judge. But Kristen, I see what you're saying. I have a similar reaction to a TV show I was watching this week. The main character was doing wrong by another character he trusted, and he just forgave him. Thank you, Kristen. This is exactly what I'm sitting there saying. I'm like, I just it's a little off putting. Also, she has sympathy. I get it, Laura B. We're gonna have to agree to disagree. I look at it, it's like I get that part too. But I guess for me, I just don't. I have a hard time reconciling with the sense of calmness when your daughter is in such of a bad position or an altered position because of a selfish decision. To sit and be that calm is a little, you know. Okay, well, I'm glad you liked it, Ron. You know, Eagle Fang, that would have actually, that would have actually been interesting, Eagle Fang, if that was originally the case. Thank you, Unlimited. Yes, beat that like button's ass, as I always sit there and say, because it really does help me out. We got a new person here tonight, Cassie. Bobby says, I know you have a hard time forgiving and having the same thing watching. I guess agree to disagree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Bobby. Like, I'm not coming down on Maggie and Sarah in a way where it's like this is stupid or I'm being super preachy or super judging. I just don't know. I just it's hard for me to sit there and just truly accept that, knowing how your daughter's whole reality is altered. To sit there and be that calm about that situation. Curry says, I don't get you with this logic because we all know Brady is innocent. He don't remember hitting her. She don't remember hitting him. Her car, he didn't. And Maggie on screen says she was once friend. So why Maggie and Sarah come down hard on him with no solid proof? What's good, Texas Twister? Okay. Um, let me answer his question first. Texas, this is usually the time I start. Mm, I get that. I get that. It's just, that's the thing though, Kyrie. It's just like the thing is that they seem like it seems like they kind of have an idea that it's him. Yeah, they don't know for full proof that it's him, but they kind of have an idea. Thought you were going to start at 8:50. Yeah, I started a few minutes earlier. So actually, I started actually a few minutes late. Actually, I started a few minutes late, so I actually wasn't. I was actually still late. I wanted to try to start at 8 o'clock. I guess my whole thing with Kyrie's is that every time that they talk, they always have this sentence like, "Yeah, you know, he did it or whatever," or even if he did do it, it's not going to sit there and change it. It's not going to change anything. And Maggie has not actually said that. Okay, yeah, no, Twister, yeah, over here is 8:15. So yeah, yeah, I'm in Pacific time or New York time. Kyrie's at one point I was actually going to sit there and use your I was actually going to use your title this week about is Holly should forgive Eric. I was actually gonna put that on there tonight, but since you did it a couple of days ago, I was like, they already heard it once. Maybe I should sit there and wait until next week to, you know, do it again. But even Maggie's like, if he did it, then let's just sit there and try to move forward. So like, part of me is just like this sense of not being totally mad, and even with Sarah being like, even if he did do it, um, it's not going to change anything. It's like it's just a little kind of You know. Thank you, Lobby. 36 people and 24 likes. Yeah, I gotta sit there and hit this like button to help myself out. But help me out though, because it does help out. Okay, 23 likes now. Damn. Okay, so we're actually at 24 likes. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Unlimited says I would love if you started around now because I watched GH on who. Oh, I got you. I got you, Unlimited. And then I kind of just spoil a lot of this stuff. No, I got you. Well, Unlimited. I'll tell you this much though. The Gates is coming out next year, and I might actually have to start at 9 o'clock. I may actually have to sit there and start a little bit later because I'm going to be watching 5 soap operas. So, uh, Barbie, I remember the Sci-Fi Channel. They actually, see, that's the thing though. Sometimes, Barbie. Sometimes I wonder if like the movies was good growing up, or was my expectations really low? Was my expectations low enough to the point where the movies were better than I remembered it? You know, okay, Kyrie, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Holly should forgive Eric? Kristen says, Hobbit, no, movies were better when we were younger. I don't know. In some ways, Kristen, yes, because yeah, there is less political correctness. Okay? Movies and TV shows actually treated people and kids like they weren't dumb and like they weren't too sensitive, right? So in that sense, yes, Kristen. But sometimes you ever watch the movie or watch the cartoon or a show and it's like the jokes didn't land or it wasn't as great as you remember. Harry says no, no, she shouldn't. He not only did that but lied to her for yeah, and that's and you know what, Kyrie is actually agree with that. I really do, Kyrie, because what he did back then was extremely selfish. And what I don't like, Kyrie, is that I feel like in a sense is like they're trying to mitigate or trying to make or trying to have paint some sort of sympathetic picture for for Eric who caused a DUI. And that's not what we should be doing. Unless as you watch all five really just down at GH. Well, unlimited I mean this is my job, you know what I'm saying? So like yeah, and also I enjoy it. Unlimited. I enjoy the different energies and perspective of all the different ones. And I said next time Jordan goes against a man, she better have a gun. The Salmon guy was okay, but I said yes, and I said the same thing. And I was like, yo, listen, I get that you're kind of a badass, but this guy is twice your weight. There's no way you're going to be sitting there holding him. Unless if the golden age of TV changed from, in some ways, unlimited in some ways. There is a lot of pros to the stuff that came out in the 90s and the 80s. And then there is a lot of cons. So it's a give and take, unlimited. There's things that is amazing, and then there's things that is just, you know. Kristen said there's so much laziness in media now. Everything is a remake or redo. It's like everything goes. You know the problem is though, Kristen. There's a counterbalance to that. I've seen some unique movies that don't get any credit. You know what it comes down to now, Kristen? People feel safer with remakes and sequels because it's familiar. And people don't like to sit there and try to branch out and watch anything new because they don't trust their own opinions. They don't trust their own opinions to the point where they won't see a movie until they go online and see if it's good enough. That's the thing, Krista. They'll go to, I don't know what people go to now, but the point is they don't trust their own opinions. They'll sit there and hear it from a reviewer or the internet before they go and see it. So it's kind of a give and take, Kristen. It says I agree with your review. Eric had 10 to 12 years top to tell Holly the truth, especially when he was only in yes, and I agree with that. Lemon says I need to go back to watch all five. So much has been going wrong with me. That's yeah, no, and I get it on Lemon. I get it. You also haven't really been in the chat as well. So yeah. I hope things are starting to calm down a little bit more in your world, though. I'll say that. Element said before we had Ocean's 11 as a remake, now we have West Side Story, and that's the thing. Unlimited, yes, and I agree with that. Like, there's not a lot of original ideas, Unlimited, but then there's a counterbalance. People won't go and see. There's a lot of times there may be an original movie, an original idea. People go with safe. That's the thing, Unlimited. People will go with safe. And with safe is a sequel or a remake. It's sad, Unlimited, but it's the truth. Kevin says it looks like Connie blow up EJ and Gabby and fake Abby's not Gwen after all. She's being Green's sister. Hmm? As did Sharon kill Stella's dad, also the actor that plays. Oh, Styles. Yes, yes. That's actually very true. It's actually see, very few people actually know what we're talking about right now. Very few people. I appreciate that, Unlimited. I do. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm like, where the hell's my damn food at? I was like, oh yeah, where the hell's my damn fork at? Nick Newman is just awesome. He's just pure awesomeness. I appreciate you too, Unlimited. Thank you. I try to keep it real. Even when keeping it real goes tits up, I still try. Trust me, it's actually went tits up a couple of times. Oh Lord B, he's on a supernatural show called on a show that was called Teen Wolf. So the actor that plays you get it, Francis. What's good, Jonathan? So the actor that plays Cameron Kirk. Thank you, Black Man. You are awesome too. And that's why I always really appreciate having you in my chat. Um, the actor that plays Cameron Kirk used to be on a show called Teen Wolf. So it's a supernatural show. and that's why I like having you in my chat, Francis. Yes, unlimited. But to be fair, unlimited to some extent, sometimes it's easier and cheaper, and sometimes better to sit there and see a movie. Um, I mean, it depends. If you like supernatural stuff, then you'll like it, Lorby. Like I don't know, Twilight stuff. If you're not into that stuff, then see, Francis, you know, they get lost in streaming services. But to be fair, unlimited, I paid like 20 something dollars to go see Deadpool. Like ticket prices are high as hell. And then you gotta consider that you're going in a movie theater where not everyone knows how to behave. And I'm gonna be honest, unlimited, there's times where it's just a lot easier to just watch a movie on my streaming. And that's the thing. It's a lot easier sometimes unlimited to watch something on my streaming service than it is to go to a theater and deal with a bunch of assholes. And then on top of that, I'm spending way more money on these movies than Francis. First of all, I love Dean. Dean Winchester, yes, Francis. That was my show. And that's the thing, Francis. It's one of those things where it's like, yes, there was unlimited. Um, that's the thing, though, Francis. It's one of those things where it's like this the show didn't actually have the best special effects, but the characters and the story made it. That is actually true, unlimited. It was a comedy back in the day. It was a comedy back in the day, and but see, that's the thing, though, unlimited. That was one of those reboots that actually worked. Lorby says, "Are you going to watch?" Absolutely, Lorby. Absolutely, Lorby. I'm a Marvel fan. So anything live action, Marvel, I will watch. I'm a diehard Marvel fan. Thank you, Unlimited. It's just that's the thing though, Unlimited. I get your point, and you're not wrong. I always feels like there's like a give and take to both sides of the situations. And ultimately, sometimes you just have to just pick a side and hope for the best. That's the thing, for instance. It was like that show was on the CW. It's not exactly known for big budget, but where it was weak with the special effects worked out well. And it says Albert saw Day's promo, Connie really holding a knife on Ava. Clyde's back and not happy. I'm sick of this man. He was better on the original Charm. I never actually watched Charm, but Ed, I would sit there and say all roads usually lead back to Clyde Weston. Gorgeous Queen Janet, let's talk tonight. Let's talk, baby. Let's talk. I missed this week. It looks like Hope's line is going to be cut. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm so annoyed with what they're doing on Born and Beautiful. I'm just like, just cut her line and be done. Just like seriously, just cut her line and be done. Why are we sitting there wasting money on her failing line? Carter's good with numbers, as he always sits there and says. What are we doing? Hope is sitting there asking, well, can you just let us finish out the quarter? That's like sitting there saying, can you just sit there and just waste more money on this line? Like, what are we doing at this point? I should add. It's funny. I tried to watch New Charm. 45 minutes into the show, I hated it with a passion. Animal lover. I've been watching Alexis as babe on All My Children, thanks to YouTube, and she's good. Yes, Animal. They're in good hands. She's a vet, so I want to say, especially the first three seasons of Teen Wolf reboot and makes remakes can work. Shout out to yes, Cobra Kai Unlimited, which is not even. It's not really. Yes, shout out to Cobra Kai, but Cobra Kai is not really. Well, Cobra Kai is a sequel, so but yes, she was given so I can accept it. Yeah, exactly. It's like it is what it is, Orby. It's like the magic isn't there, Thomas isn't there, and that's what made the line work. And I feel like Ridge really kind of kept the line going for Brooke, which is actually kind of bad for business when you start to think about it. Oh, Francis, I could not stand the new charm. I tried, Francis. I really did. But like 45 minutes into the show, I generally couldn't stand any of the characters. I just liked every single character on there. And yeah, they definitely did make that show hella woke. And I don't normally use that word too much, but like, oof. That says I watched the new Charm movies. I watched the new Charm season one was the best, and I watched all four. That show didn't know what it wanted to be and tried to check all the boxes. Well, Ed, it was put on a network where that's all that network does is check all the boxes. I want you to think about that, Ed. Think about every show that was on the CW. Think about every show that was on the CW, and every single one of those shows tried to check a box. And what's good, Valerie? It's good to have you tonight. I'm so sorry for missing you the first time. I saw you. It said Miss Gardina. What's good, Valerie? Sorry if I didn't say hi to you when you first came in. Johnson said the new channel was not something that needed to be remade. Well, apparently you remember what the message said, though, right, Jonathan? We don't have to get into it, but you remember why they actually why they felt bold enough to remake it or redo it? Jay Blue. Did Gossip Girl try to check the box? The new one did. The new one did, Jay Blue. I mean, I heard the new one did it. Okay, so then, all right. See, Johnson, this is why you're my guy. This is why you're my guy, because you know. One says more of a sequel than anything else. Somehow still, Cassie said, I myself have been in the water my entire life, but if someone put me in one by being reckless or something, I'm upset. See, let me say something. Ed, you speak my language. Jay Blue says, I didn't know there was New Gospel. Why was there a New Gospel? You know, the thing is, Jay Blue, it was more of a sequel. It wasn't like it was a remake. It was literally a sequel. Um, listen, I love the original Gospel Girl, the show. No, I don't actually have any, Francis. But when I do get an update, I will actually I'll either make a video or I'll make a short. So I don't have any updates on her. I just forgot to talk about her this week, though. Ed says you're right. I can name a lot of them. Was CW never was about that, and that's why it's pretty much done. Yeah. But you know, Francia, because I didn't know anything about this actress. I never watched All My Children, but people said she's a good actress, and I feel like that's good enough for me. But any updates, I will sit there and let people know. Ron says, "What's your thoughts on Brady on Brad Beck killing off another character for this fall. I don't know what character they're killing off, so depends on who it is. J Blue said 2B has the original character planet. Yeah, J Blue. I like I said, I love the original Gossip Girl. I wanted to watch the new one. I just didn't have time for it. And then once I heard that it got canceled after the first season, I was like, well, okay. But J Blue, I wanted to watch it. But they are doing another One Tree Hill. I don't know if it's a remake or a sequel. Kristen says Victor Newman has been a part of my whole life. My grandmother watched Young and Restless when I was a kid. Kristen, he's a timeless character. He's a timeless actor. Um, there's a reason why they call him the great Victor Newman, or Kristen, the great Eric Braeden. I always call him the great Eric Braeden. Like I feel like he's one of those people where it's like, even if you haven't watched, um, Genesis Albert, when will Sam be gone? I'm not sure. I've heard different things, but like I don't want to speculate. People have said that she's supposed to be leaving soon, yeah, like within the next couple of weeks, from what I heard. Like that soon, like literally in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, let's hope so, Kristen. I've heard stories. I haven't actually did a deep dive into it, but I heard stories though, and they're not good. But no, Jan, it's supposed to be in a couple of weeks from what I heard. Princess says, thank you. Tired of them talking to a dummy in that hospital bed. Clement says HBO gave up on a new Gossip Girl. I heard they gave up on something else though too, Unlimited. Actually, it was HBO Max. I think that gave up on something, but it wasn't Gossip Girl. It was Degrassi. Ron says, I know you're going to be in tears next week. No, actually, I'm not going to be in tears, Ron. I'm going to be happy. I think you know that, Ron. I mean, listen, I get it. You want to sit there and joke, control, and everything like that. That's fine. Ron, I'm counting down the days until I can't, until I don't have to sit there and see Connie anymore. I don't even know why I even bothered to read that for. Okay, now Sean makes a good point. I heard it's Taylor, so the report it she's not always accurate. Yeah, that's the thing, Sean. She's not always accurate. It's yeah, Belinda. That's the thing called about her actual name, Belinda. Okay, so this is why Ron is always think they're talking about Phoenix Tremaine, or yeah, Phoenix Tremaine. I think that's his name. But Jen, I'll tell you this much though. When I know when Kelly Monaco's leaving, I will let you know. But thank you for reminding me though. I feel like I felt like I did. Thank you, Jonathan. No, yeah, no, Janet. When I know, you know. When I know, I will definitely let you know. Oh, Janet, I'll let you know first before I let everyone else know. Well, let me just say, Gossip Girl was expensive. Yeah, but let's be honest. Which show is not expensive these days? That's the thing, Unlimited. I mean, either way, I, let's put it this way, Unlimited. I'm surprised that those shows used to run for 22, 23 something episodes. Ed says you're going to like the new Lulu. She was a major character on all my shows, and she definitely going to kill it. I've seen some of her scenes. I remember her from more like the Live crossover. Well, um, I mean, Lulu, that's my whole thing. Like, Lulu was never a character that was like, oh my god, I loved her, but I never hated her on there. But I will sit there and say that I've heard that she's a good actress. And if she's a good actress, then she's in capable hands of Lulu. Now, to be fair, who was the other chick that was not there? Emma something. I didn't like her take on Lulu. I felt like Emma was a little kind of out of sorts when it came towards the GH cast. Her acting never seemed like it was. Oh, Emily, thank you, Jonathan. And Emily never seemed like it was like her acting was on the same level as other people acting. Like, didn't she come from another show? She came from an entirely different show. What was her last show that she was on? Because I felt like it was like taking an actor from Days or an actor from. It's like taking an actor from CBS and then putting them on ABC. Oh, Emmy. Thank you, Emmy. Thank you, Jonathan. YNR. See, and that's thank you. And you actually just proved my thank you. And you just proved my point. It's literally taking an actress from CBS to ABC. Thank you, Jonathan. Sean says, "Why would B&B recast Taylor, then kill the character? It didn't work out. They're killing the character? What the hell is going on, Sean? Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, Ed. You just proved my damn point." Element said the first season of Gossip Girl set a record at the time for the most expensive per episode. Oh wow! I rock with Gossip Girl, and I also rock with One Tree Hill. That's cool, Unlimited. That's cool. Like I said, my whole thing is if they wrote better for her, cool. But I feel like the characters ran its course. You know, if they were if unless they were going to sit there and just write really great for her, if not, yeah, it's time for her to go. She's kind of just hanging around, sitting there dating somebody that's very close to practically being her sibling. Like they share a cousin. It's just weird. Like, I'm sorry. Some people like them together, but y'all share a cousin. That's just some like weird shit, right? Hmm, that was a bad decision. That was kind of a bad decision. Oh damn, I'm not done yet. Says Albert in the promos. What do you think about Stephanie going to see Paulina to get Crooked EJ fired? He knew Clive was. I gotta watch the promos. I don't remember that part. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't. I gotta watch the promos again because I don't actually remember that part. So that's a good question. I just remember Connie trying to kill Melinda and putting a knife to Ava's neck. That was about it. Ed, I'll tell you this much. There's a trend with the CW shows. Okay, most shows on the CW start off 3 seasons good. They get their first 3 seasons great, and then they lose traction. Almost every show that people like about the CW at the season 3, it goes downhill. From what I understand it. Well, basically, I just hope that when they race him out, it's a good storyline that go. Yeah, I mean, yes, Lorraine, I agree. I mean, she's been on the show for a while. Give her a good exit, Give her a good exit. Kristen said, just out of curiosity, why are the writers doing a fake Abby storyline instead of just bringing the Abby character back? Probably add some mystery, Kristen. Probably to add some mystery. I mean, yeah, they could have just brought her back, but like I feel like if they would have brought her back without any sort of whatever, then it just would have been like, you know. But that's my guess. Now, Johnson says Supernatural was good for the first 5 seasons. Yeah, and that's true, Jonathan. I'm just saying, like most shows, people have told me that after the first 3 seasons, it goes downhill. I've liked I've liked shows throughout their season, but I that's what I've heard from other people. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, Kristen. That's what I'm guessing. All right, let's finish this page. Laura B, don't take what Ron's saying as serious. Don't take that as a serious question, or a serious response. And it's same thing with you. Same thing with you, Kristen. Take what Ron says with a grain of salt. As a except Smallville, second half of season 7, season 8 was okay, and season 10 it went way back. Yeah. Now Francis says the show started getting repetitive. How many different ways can you kill a demon? Francis, I would sit there and say this much. The one the one problem with most of those shows, Francis, is the side quests. Okay, you know how in Francis, like they're trying to go at the ruby, but they have to go on these side quests because they can't get the ruby. That's always been a lot of these shows' problems. Um, well, Ron, you're sitting there telling an actress that you're sitting there saying that an actress shouldn't do their last scenes, and that's a very like bad comment to say. You're basically sitting there saying, Ron, is um that you want an actor to sit there and be unprofessional, that they shouldn't do their last scene because they're getting fired. Ron, it sets a bad reputation when an actor doesn't do a last scene because whatever job that they go through next, they can't trust them. So I don't know why you would want an actor to not do their last scene. It seems very counterproductive, is what I'm saying. Sean says, Albert, if Sam can date Dante, well, Trina and TJ could have dated. They're not blood relatives, are they? It's because of Warren Curtis becoming her dad. Well, Sean, I mean, yeah, they can. It would just still be like Sean. Yes, technically, you're right. I would still find it gross. I would still find it gross. But yes, Sean, you are correct. Thank you, Jay Blue. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Ron. You're sitting there saying, well, no, an actor, Sam shouldn't do her last role. It's like what Jay Blue is saying. It will just give you you know, when you go to another job, they look at that. You're a star. So your resume is basically based off your last work. Come on, man. Johnson says Trina and TJ may not be blood related, but they are particularly cousins. This is how they see each other and their years age. Yes, Jonathan. The age gap thing is a little whatever, but the fact that they're practically like cousins is bad enough. That's why I said, like Sean, yes, you are theoretically correct. Correct. Have a good night, Laura B. Have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you next week. Um, Now, Unlimited says characters and actors go through peaks and valleys, especially in a long form like soaps. They could have her exit without killing her off. They could. They could. They absolutely could. Unlimited. It's you know, that's the thing. Unlimited. I like the character Sam. I felt like they didn't write good enough for her towards the end, and that's a shame. You know. So it's my criticism or my way of her leaving isn't as harsh. Like some people really can't stand her. Some people have this very unsympathetic look when it comes towards her. I'm kind of a little bit more of a middle ground kind of thing. J Blue says, yes, I will find it gross just like they want Tracy and Gregory to be together. But the grandchildren and son were getting married is too close. Oh, J Blue, I never looked at it that way. Never once looked at it that way. That's very interesting. I I never looked at it that way. Kristen said this is so random, but something occurred to me yesterday is that I wanted to share. While Trina doesn't have a storyline of her own, neither does Jocelyn. That's true, Kristen. Jocelyn's storyline is literally something they're butting in everyone else's business, trying to stop Carly from, being a grown ass adult, pretty much, and making her own decisions. It's actually very true, Kristen. It says I get people want Trina to have a man blood related or not. TJ is not an option. It's not. It's not. You know, I'll tell you this much, Jonathan. I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to wind up happening, Jonathan, is that somebody said this in the chat, is that she may actually be sick. Like she may actually be dying or have some sort of sickness. And I think that's what Fiona wanted to sit there and say to Xander when they were in the hospital. And I feel like this sickness is going to be what is going to stop Xander from beating beating the living bricks out of Xander. That's my guess. Yeah, exactly, Sean. They did start writing for her. You are 150% correct. Now, Kristen says, in my opinion, I don't think Kelly Monaco ever forgave GH writers for firing Billy. This is just based off my observations. Well, Kristen, why don't you I'm very curious about your take on that. Yeah, no, Kristen, no. I want to hear more about this because the thing is, Kristen, you're not the first person that said that. So I would definitely much appreciate if you actually did expand on that a little bit, if you can. You know what? Unlimited said these writers unqualified to make the game change decisions like Kelly off a core character. Well, she's always been about Sunny. She's always been about hating Sunny, and I don't like Sunny. And Kristen says I read they were really close. Maybe yes, they no, they definitely did, Kristen. That's actually very true. I heard yeah, I did heard that they dated. And Kristen, it wouldn't be a far stretch. So let's sit there and go into this for a half minute. Billy and Kelly Monica are dating. Billy gets offered the role to play Jason. Steve comes back. Steve comes back, and now Billy got pushed to the side to play another character. And she doesn't like it because now they're going to sit there and write her boyfriend off because Steve decided, you know what, I don't like the Young and Restless for whatever reason. I'm gonna come back to GH. So I do yeah I do see it. I do see it. Farmer says, "I'll sure you agree with me, Albert, that Victor Newman is sitting in his office crying and whining about getting into legal trouble for committing bank fraud would must." Solomon, is that a troll comment? Because like I'm gonna sit there and say that's a troll comment, Solomon. I'm gonna sit there and say that's a troll comment. I don't see the Victor being that stupid, but I'm like he's the great Victor Newman. Let him go down for something that's like. But I like your way of thinking, Solomon. Kristen says Steve Burke coming back to showing what was, in my opinion, the best version of Jason because he put his family first. Ooh, I like that, Kristen, because you're not actually half bad. I mean, listen, Steve is always going to be Jason, but you're correct about the fact that Billy did. He put his family first. He put Sam first. He said to Sonny that I'm not going to sit there and do any more dangerous stuff. And then what happened with Jason? And then what happened when Steve came back? Sonny and Carly was like, you know what? This makes sense because the way he walked away from us so fast was just kind of off-putting. Well, of course it was off-putting because this is the first time that the character actually put his family first before your family. So of course, yes, of course it's going to be off-putting, Sonny. Yeah, you aren't used to the robot that you normally got. You are speaking facts, Kristen. Sean. Okay, here's my thing, Sean. Let me. Okay, so let's talk about this before I have into Sean. Sean says that GH did Billy Miller bad. He was a great actor. Well, Sean, let me put it this way. How bad did they actually? How? Okay, now Sean said Billy played Jason better with emotions. Yeah, but Jason was never known for emotions, though, right? Right, Sean? Jason was never known for like huge, big emotions. So how better did he play Jason? Did he play him better, or did he do his own take on Jason? Um, Jason was more of a robot. Yes, he brought emotion to the character, but that's in the same tone, Sean. That's not what made Jason Jason. Jason showed emotion. He didn't show it as much as Billy did, but he showed it sporadically, and that's how Steve played it. So you gotta sit there and think: did he really play a better Jason? Kristen says, "I know Jason is your favorite character ever, so don't let anything." Kristen, listen, I welcome and I value your opinion, and I don't get bothered by this. Kristen, this is fun for me. So, in all reality, Kristen, I value your opinion. it helps shapes me when I do my reviews. So never hold back on your opinion, Kristen, unless it's rude to other people. But other than that, always sit there and give me your opinion. Even if I disagree, I'll sit there and think of being like, okay, Kristen, that's interesting. Cassie said One Tree Hill is going to be a sequel. It's going to be a sequel. It's supposed to be based on their children now. That could be interesting, Cassie. Listen, Cassie, I'm looking forward to One Tree Hill. I was a huge fan of One Tree Hill when it was on the CW, or was it the WB? Or was it the WB and CW? Either way, I was a huge fan. Cassie, tell me if this memory. Tell me if you remember this scene. Um, the nannies that they're chasing. They're chasing Nathan's son through a cornfield. Remember that scene? Sean said he did his own take on him. I forgot Steve played the role. He was that guy. Sean. Sean. We can agree to disagree because I understand that you felt like he brought more value to the character. Um, I respect. Sean. For me, I respected his take. I enjoyed his take. Um, I look at how the original character played him. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, Kristen. Um, I respect both of their takes, but I guess I just kind of look at it and I'm like, ooh, okay, Ed, okay, Ed, Ed, you have a good memory. You have a good memory. See, exactly, Kristen. Ed knows. Ed knows. Remember when that dog ate on Dan's heart, and Lucas just sat there and looked at the whole thing. I think that might have been the funniest thing I've seen in One Tree Hill. When Dan was waiting for that heart transplant, and the heart just rolled out, and the dog out of nowhere came and just literally ate his goddamn heart. And Lucas just had that. Exactly, Kristen. Lucas just had that look. I swear, I don't think I've laughed. I remember that. Exactly, Kristen. I remember that. And I remember that night because I watched it live. That actually caught up to it. I watched that shit live, and that was funny. And then he told Nate, "What's good, Amber?" It's really funny though, Kristen and Ed. I caught up because of SoapNet. I caught up because of SoapNet. Well, Kristen, we are in the age where they're actually going to be putting it back on Netflix. But yeah, it was SoapNet that actually caught me up. Fun times, right, Ed? Fun times. Kristen says something I really appreciate about that show was how everything was wrapped up. There wasn't a single character that was forgotten about. Something that was yes, it was. We did, Ed. We did. That's why I said. That's why I was like, when I brought up that memory, I was like, "See, you knew because you knew." I I always wanted to get into the OC, but because my time was limited, I had to choose between the OC and One Tree Hill, and One Tree Hill just wound up winning. But the OC did look interesting. Sean says, "Albert, what do you think? What do you think the writers are going to write for Trina? The actress contract ends in 2025. Sean, I'm hoping that she goes to the gates at this point because I feel like General Hospital does not respect the actress time, and they don't respect the actor, and they don't respect the character. So, Sean, at this point, I'm not. I mean, if anything, they're gonna sit there and write something between her and Gio that no one's gonna like, and they're just gonna sit there and just keep it going for a while. And it says, remember when pregnant Haley slapped Rachel? I do remember that. Didn't he write that other girl, Kristen? Who was the other chick that they actually brung in? They brung in two other people. Um, one of the guys that they brung in is the dude that Sophia Vegar is dating, and there was another woman that they actually brung in too. Like I said, one of the people is the man that's Sophia Vegar is dating. And they brought in Haley's sister. Okay, so they brought in Haley's sister, but then like later on in the season, they brought in who is the chick that Mouth was dating? Who was the chick that Mouth? You remember Mouth, right? Who was the chick that Mouth was dating? I remember she was good looking. I remember. There we go. Ah, damn. Okay, Kristen. Okay. I don't remember who Psycho Derek was. I remember Nanny Carey. But I remember who Psycho. And yes, that is true. Yes, Millie. Damn, man. Oh, you had Hulu. Yeah, no, Chris. No, I had Who is Derek? The fake brother. Oh, okay. Yeah, that dude was creepy as. That dude. That was the dude that was obsessed with Peyton, right? God damn. I haven't said Peyton's name in so long. Yep. Okay. There you go. Yeah, Unlimited. So it was amazing. It really was. Um, it got me caught up on watching. You watched her on video chat. Oh, as if the other guy you're talking about was online psycho Derek pretending to be Payne's brother. Yes. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit there and say Owen. I gotta sit there and say Owen. Maybe because he was a guy, and I know that sounds awful, but maybe because he was a guy, and he seemed like he was more of a physical threat. I do, Sean. I want her to go on the gates. I want her and the other actress that played Trina. Kristen says, remember she had her camera on all the time. Yeah, damn. I remember the guy who didn't want to sleep with Millie. Okay, who is the guy that wound up beating up Brooke? I think he wound up getting arrested towards the end, but he killed that other guy that went on that show, on that cheerleading show. Okay, I don't know if I'm explaining the story right. I'm gonna sit there and try to say this again. Who was that guy that killed? Who was that guy that killed the black guy that wound up beating up Brooke? Then the actor that was on that guy that was on that show wound up going onto another show where he was on this cheerleading squad. Kristen says, "Oh, that was the older brother, the friend of Brooke's foster child." Yes, who is that guy? I can't remember his name. We can cheat. We can use Google. I swear, one day when this channel actually starts blowing up, we're gonna do like little pop quizzes or whatever, and for like actual prizes. Kristen says, "Okay, man." No, I don't listen, Kristen. It's kind of a tough one. We we know who we're talking about. We just don't remember his name. Seriously, Kristen. That's why sharing the videos help. When this channel blows up, I think it'll be really cool. We could do like game nights. I think that should be really fun. And I just came up with that. Kristen says, "I just thought of him as the Nightmare Man." Ooh, okay. As said, his name was Xavier. He was so menacing in the last season. Yeah, he physically assaulted Brooke. And that says, yeah. Unlimited says funniest OTF One Tree Hill moment to me was Jamie. Who was Jamie again? Jamie was, I have no idea who the hell Jamie was. It was Xavier, yes. Okay, he was the kid. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen. Damn. Thank you, Ed. Yes. Thank you, Jonathan. Damn. See, I think Jonathan was just kind of chilling out for a while because Jonathan would just like that. As Xavier also killed Q. That was the guy's name. That's what I was thinking. Thank you, Ed. That was the guy who got killed. I think he went up on that cheerleading show with Tom Welling on that one when he fell into the pool. I think all hard stuff. That's Kristen. That's what I was there talking about. I was like, who was the guy that got killed? His name was Q. Sean said Jordan and Isaiah. Well, they right for them. Isaiah, the most interesting about the lucky return. There we go. There we go, Jonathan. See, when Jonathan, listen, when Jonathan comes back, and no, Ed, it did not last. And Ed, I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of bad for Tom Welling because I think he knew after Smallville his career was not gonna really go any higher. And I hate saying that, but it's kind of true. And yes, I know he was on Lucifer when this type of stuff that makes me. I feel like Jonathan is showing off at this point, but he is hella on point though. And no, Ed, it did not last. It was literally one season. Let me Jamie recap the nanny kidnapping, but said she tried to put weird things in my hair and take me. What the? And said he also was on Supernatural spinoff Tom Welling. He also was on Supernatural spinoff Tom Welling. Who is also on Supernatural spinoff Tom Welling? Are we talking about Jensen Ackles? Damn. Justice is someone plays Henry. Oh wow. I don't know why I don't remember. No, no, no. And Ed is right. Yeah, I don't know why I don't remember that. On Winchester's. Oh yeah, because thank you, Jonathan. Okay, and thank you, Ed. Yeah, I didn't watch the Winchesters. Okay, yeah, I was done at the Supernatural. Which, by the way, I was gonna sit there and say just how disappointed I was that out of all the different ways that Dean could have died, he died because there was this little sharp object. Yeah, see, there we go, Ed. There we go. I was literally in the middle of that sentence. That one sharp object. That one. You know what the thing is, Kristen? I knew he was gonna. I knew he was gonna die because they showed the object before they started that whole fight. I mean, and it is, Kristen. But you know the thing is, they had a different ending. They had different ideas, but because of the virus, um, it really impeded them. And that's the thing, Kristen. He was on a podcast with the Smallville version of Lex Luthor, and even Jensen Ackles was very perplexed about the ending. He didn't know how to feel about it. Like part of him liked it, the other part of him was like, "Really? Ooh." And I agree with that at 100%. Have a nice, Sean. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to Smith seeing you next week. And Ed is actually 100% correct. But yeah, he was on a podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, I think, or Michael Rosen something. And he was very perplexed. Kristen says, I heard there was another ending. The one that aired was such a disservice to the character. Yeah. To be fair, Kristen, a lot of the CW shows didn't exactly have the well, they normally don't have the best endings, but they particularly did not have the best endings during that what's good, Adam? As says, remember the episode when Dean Oh, I love that episode, Ed. The episode was kind of weird for me was when they actually showed the car. And you remember that episode, right? When they actually showed the car, like from the car's point of view. Have a good night, Francis. Now Johnson says season five Supernatural would have served better as a series ending. How long did it go for? 15 years, right? Hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. That was a weird episode. And that the truth of the matter is, Ed, and everyone, no one wanted like a prequel. They had so much potential to sit there and do so many different spin-offs, and they decided to go with a prequel. Like no one wanted that. As said in the same interview, Jensen called Eric the creator and original show. Season 5 was the original ending. Kemper said the ending worked and explained it. Okay, Unlimited. I actually only watched pieces of the podcast. Well, the podcast I was not there watching was Inside of You. But yes, Kristen says I wish they had gone. I see, Kristen. This is why you belong here, and I agree, Kristen. Um, because we knew the characters. That's the thing. We knew some of the characters. New characters worked in, and then the veteran characters we've seen. You know, if you watch Supernatural season 1 through 5, we kind of grew with these characters, so it made more sense. You know, Chris, they actually did have another sequel in the works too, right? But that was Kristen. That wasn't the only one. That wasn't the only spinoff. They actually had a couple of them. They had one with the guy that played Cole on the originals. I don't think anyone actually really cared about that, but they did actually have another one. Yeah, Kristen. It was the actor that played Cole on the originals. They were going to do a spinoff with him and somebody else, and it was going to be this weird like monster mob kind of thing going on that no one would have cared about. But that was also a sequel to Nemesis. I think the ending was good, maybe anticlimactic. It was perplexing for sure. Ed says Supernatural is supposed to have another spinoff and include. I think we're talking about. He is correct. He is correct. That was actually it. Genesis, do you like Kyle and Claire? Well, I would sit there and say this much, Janet. Claire makes Kyle tolerable because Kyle can be a very unlikable character. So Claire makes him tolerable. I'm never really into couples or anything like that, but with Claire, makes Kyle a lot more watchable. So they work. They work, Janet. I would sit there and say that they work. You know, Kristen, I was kind of late to the game, so I didn't know who Lola was. Unfortunately, I kind of missed out on that stuff. Kristen says when they show that pipe, I just flashed back to that scene and okay. At one point, at least 3 minutes for that. Yes. No, Jonathan is actually correct. It was called Bloodlines. Damn. Kristen said that's why I quit watching. I was just curious. That's why you quit watching what? Supernatural? You know, Janet, okay, I'll sit there and say this much. Yeah, she was nasty, rude, and just rude. But I'll tell you this much, Janet. Mac actually had a potential for a good story, or Felicia did. They sat there and they said, have a night, Kristen. It was really great to sit there and talk to you and chop it up with you, and I hope I get to sit there and see you next week. They sat there and said that maybe Tracy was jealous of Sasha. And that would have worked a lot better than the real reason. Like, I would have much rather have, like, maybe Tracy did have some sort of feelings towards Cody, instead of, like, you know, the reason that they gave to that. Johnson says it was too similar to the originals, that's why the spinoff didn't. That makes sense, Jonathan. That makes sense. Man, do I still miss that show with a passion, Jonathan. Seriously, Jonathan, I think about that show way too much. And I'm going to be honest, Jonathan. I'm secretly hoping every day that Julian finds a way to make another show in the Vampire Diaries universe. Every day I wake up and I sit there and think, Julie, you got to do it for so many reasons. I mean, let's be honest. The show that she tried to do the mirror, like the show that she tried to do, what was it called? The Vampire Academy? Well, you should have just stuck to what was working. I didn't watch the show. I wanted to watch the show, but then they canceled Legacies, and I was just kind of done at that point. And I did feel like Julie just kind of yes, thank you, Ad. And I felt like Julie just kind of jumped ship. I don't even know how much she was actually involved in that show, and she turned that show into something that felt so unfamiliar. I would say to the other two series that she did before. I was like, bro, just sometimes you got, and sometimes you just got to do what works. Johnson says, "Will you be up for Vampire Diaries?" No, I mean, John. I'll put it this way. At this point, I want it so bad that I will take it, but I wouldn't want it. I'll take it. I'll take it at this point. I wouldn't want it, but I would take it. Like the desperate fan in me would just take it. But you saw how they did Supernatural, you know, and Legacies was ass into season 4. So it's like the fanboy me would just take it, but the critic in me be like, come on, you can't do that. And I've seen other shows that Julie did that was actually good. Like I like Kyle XY, so she has a knack for like suspension and stuff like that. I can imagine what more could they do with the franchise. Well, if you well, damn, they can't. I think Jonathan. The only thing I could sit there and say is they can do something with Cole and Davina because they kind of went off and did their own thing. But unfortunately, it would be too much like the originals, and I think that would be the problem. Like they can do like a Cole and Davina spinoff. Genesis, when will Willow and Drew hook up? You mean like for real this time, right? Not like, and that's the thing, Jenna. I want them to do more than a kiss at this point. I want Willow to sit there and stop crying, stop making us feel bad for her, or stop trying to make us feel bad for her. Um, like, Jen, I want them to do more than hook up. I want them to actually go all the way because exactly, yeah, for real. I want them to actually go all the way because no reality is like you're just doing a kiss. And I'm not sitting there saying a kiss isn't enough to break up a relationship, but like if you're gonna bomb a relationship, like really bomb a relationship. As a college was another good one ever. Did you watch? I didn't. Uh, I didn't watch Buffy or Angel. And to be fair, Ed, I kind of watched College Why because it kind of reminded me of Smallville in a sense. I don't know why, but it just reminded me of Smallville. But no, Jana, no. I want them to go like all the way. I'm tired of Willow Smith there crying, talking about I'm a good wife. I was like, oh, we done like you're a serial cheater, and it is what it is. And it says, how about Baby Daddy? No, I didn't watch that. I know it's the same actor from the show, but I didn't watch that though. But you know what I did watch? What was that show that was like the Fantastic? Okay, what was that show that was like the Fantastic? It was called No Ordinary Family. I did watch that. It was pretty like it was pretty much like the Fantastic Four in a sense. So it seems to say I know I'm extremely late, but at least I'm getting the tail end of Friday something to start my weekend off with. Terry Ice Cream, it's good to see you. No, I didn't watch Chuck Jonathan. It might have been good. I heard it was good. I just didn't watch it though. Oh, it did. It did. Weird. It was a weird show. But I did like it to some extent. I don't know if I would like it now. See, that's the problem, Ed. This is what I'm sitting there saying. Like some things I would watch when I was younger. I don't know if I would watch it and appreciate the same way. Pastor says, I remember I'm listening to the rewatch. I remember I'm listening to the rewatch podcast. Yeah, I used to watch that show, Jonathan. I can't remember the Wings of Eternal. Michelle, right? I think that's your name. Is it? Maybe I got the wrong person. It is Michelle, right? And it says, "Remember you." I do, Ed. Remember a show called Time Tracks? See, I knew I remembered your wings. See, I listen, Ed. I would take it old school. Ed. I would take it back to Time Tracks. Once the thing start talking about showing your age, I'll bring that all the way back. And I think it was actually on Channel 9 too. I remember. You know, I'll do it. Oh, okay. Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday to your daughter, Michelle. John says, you ever seen Special Unit 2? Jonathan, is it with that guy that played Paul Hornsby? And he was also Ashland Locke? Or is that a different show, Jonathan? Tell me if I'm close. You know, Ed, there used to actually be a joke about UPN. And I think Jonathan remember with those. I think Jonathan remembers. Oh, that was the Sentinel. Damn. Okay, see, Jonathan's just showing off right now. That's some good shit, by the way. But there used to be a joke for the acronym of UPN. Anybody want to sit there and take a wild guess what UPN used to be? UPN as a joke used to be stand for? So thank you, my daughter made us smile tonight. She got okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. DC. Yep, that's right. Okay, well, congratulations, Michelle. That's awesome. That's some good news. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was gonna sit there and say underpaid brothers, but yes, yes. Actually, no. That's actually nope. Nope. He's 100% correct. Yep. Damn, Jonathan. I swear, I feel like we actually grew up like in like the same, like in the same era. That's exactly what that actually stands for too. DC says a lot for Albert thumbnails never ceases to spoil me. Well, yeah, I don't actually have a, I have an excuse for that. See, this is how I know that Jonathan came from my time era. This is how I know Jonathan came from my time era. And you know the thing is, DC. To be fair, I didn't actually have to spoil that one. It's been on social media for a while, so as such, remember when the WB had all the good shows and kids from 3 to 5? I do. You know the thing is, Ed, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I watched Martin. Seriously, DC, he like the jokes that I actually said for that for like acronyms. Jonathan knew it like spot on, and that's true. You don't have social media, and that's the thing, DC. This was a different type of spoilers, because this wasn't like I was spoiling something that happened in today's episode. So yes, that is a little bit more of a bigger spoiler. So DC, I will give you that much, and I can't blame you, DC, because some people don't have social media because it's toxic accessible. As says WB used to have all the black shows before they moved to Channel 11. They also had Channel 5 on lock. Those networks love using black shows to bring their viewerships and have us move. Ed is speaking facts. And Johnson says you can't. That's true. That is actually very true, Jonathan. Did they actually have Babylon 5 on there? And I know Jonathan knows what Babylon 5 is. DC says Albert is turning into one of those spoiler channels. This is what happens. I guess once Jess stepped down from Boston Enterprise just to well, I mean the thing is DC, to be fair, again, it was on social media, so like most people know about it. And I normally don't. Actually tell you the truth, DC, I had an entirely different question. But Kyrie's beat me to the punch. So I have to sit there and do that question next week. And I just speaking facts. DC says Albert is giving Billy Abbott with how he managed the company. Jess was his Lily. Damn. Oh, oh my word. I don't drink on the well. You know what? I no actually. I was gonna statistic. I didn't drink Saturday. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I just thought about that. Never mind. Johnson says Babylon 5 they moved the final season of TNT. Seriously, you're Jonathan. You never cease to amaze me. DC says the red cup is proof. Wow, DC. To be fair, the red cup could also be holding this. So that's not entirely accurate. Michelle says, okay, so am I the only one who loves Anna acting like a surrogate mom to Jason? I never thought of it that way. That's an interesting take. I never actually thought of it like that, but it does make sense. Johnson says the CW is planning on an Babylon 5 reboot before Nexus. God damn, Jonathan. Every time it's like Nexus just finds a way to just spoil my damn fun. BC says that's not snap, but that's vodka. It's giving Nikki. I love it. Everyone wants to sit there and read that comment. And it says, "Do you remember this?" I do remember the work. I do remember the show Beastmasters. Um, I remember it more than Lost World. Those shows is. I mean, Ed, I remember shows like I remember Xena. I remember Xena was better than Hercules. I'll tell you that much, Ed. I remember Xena being a much better show than Hercules. And it's not just because, Lucy Lawless was hot. It's just it was a better show. Carlon says, I can't watch the episode of Keaton Buzz. I don't mean. Johnson says we also have syndicated WB affiliate sci-fi shows like Earth Fund. Uh, I remember Mutant X, Jonathan, because they actually have that on Amazon Prime. Um, and I think Scott Atkins was actually on one of the episodes. I just remember Scott and the dude that played Lex on Lois and Clark was actually on there. Cherry says, "Do you know when?" It's funny, Cherry, because Janet asked me the same question. I'm not 100% sure. I'm when I find out, I will definitely let the chat knows. But Cherry, from what people listening to saying, it's supposed to be in a couple of weeks, like not months. I mean, like weeks. I don't remember that show. Yes, Jonathan. Yeah, I didn't know that was actually his name. He did actually do a good job as playing Lex Luthor, though. I mean, to be fair, Gene Kane played like a really good Superman and a good Lois Clark. I mean, and a good Clark. Have a good night, DC. It was really great to see you. Yep, Lex Luthor with hair. And it's funny, Jonathan. Have a good week in Unlimited. Hope I get to see it and see you next week. He actually said that. I think the actor actually made a comment into saying like, why wouldn't Lex Luthor not pay for a toupee or something like that? It was, and it's funny, Ed. The sad part is that I feel like maybe with better special effects, that show would have been. I don't know, maybe would have lasted past season 3. Have a good night, cherry ice cream. Michelle says, I do believe Anna is becoming a surrogate to Jason and taking him under her wing, maybe trying to recruit him for. I never looked at it that way. I mean, I feel like Jason trying to be friends with Anna was just weird as shit. Like, you're a mob enforcer, she's a cop. What are we doing at this point? As that they were supposed to have a season 5. I remember, Ed, I remember when I was young watching it, they left it off at a cliffhanger. That they had some son or some baby come from the future or something, and then it just ended. I mean, Oh, Finding a Baby. Yeah, it was a good show for its time. You know, in the '90s and being on network television, I think they literally did the best that they could. And that's the thing though, Ed. It's like some shows can hold up. Some shows you can sit there and look at and be like, damn, with a little bit of updates and stuff like that, it probably compare on some level to the shows that we have today. That's what I said, like, it's a give and take when we look back at some of the early stuff. Thank you, Jonathan. Johnson says an article mentioned that they may get a fall guy for a case murder investigation. Michael did sit there and mention something with Christina. And Christina said, like, are you going to pay somebody to, like, be a better suspect than Alexis? And Michael didn't disagree. Jonathan, I miss also seeing it. Well, thank you, first of all, Jonathan, for the super chat. And everyone, thank him. I do miss seeing you in the live stream stuff. I do miss seeing you in the live streams, in the members' live streams. Why is he doing that? That says, why didn't they call Diane? I'm not really fully understanding it. I think Alexis says something about the fact that um, because she's representing Sunny, she can't represent Alexis for some odd reason, which really doesn't make a lot of sense. Simon says Victor and Jack need one last physical fight. Why not? Jack may be able to beat Victor by now. Solomon, it's interesting because I also look at it. I'm like, partly me sit there saying that it's like, aren't they a little bit too old? Like, I know it sounds kind of bad, but aren't they a little bit too old to be sitting that they're fighting at this point? Like, for those characters at that age to actually have a physical fight. Johnson says one thing possible suspect they mentioned could be the pharmacist that tampered with Sonny's meds. That guy is in the win. Um, Actually, no, he's not in the win. Jason knows exactly where he's at. But, I mean, that's something that people were not just saying is that, like, or they were not just saying on the show because in all reality, yes, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And just like Christina not getting um Christina sitting there talking to Chase without a lawyer was also stupid. Wayne says I love Jason, but I don't think he can be considered an enforcer anymore. Why not? He's working for Sonny again. He's getting he got rid of the evidence for Sonny. So what possible reason would he not? What reason would you not consider him to be an enforcer anymore? Yeah, Jonathan. I mean, I don't think there's really that much. There's really too many times where he's not the man. This is even Jocelyn called Dan when she was going in for question that one time Michael and Christina are like in their 30s and not calling a lawyer. This is Christina. I've sat there and said in my review, I don't know if you watched it, but I'm like, Christina, both are your what's good, Melly Mel or her queen? Both are your family members' lawyers. So I don't understand that. When you say, yeah, he just did, I just think, okay, um, Michelle, we can agree to disagree. But I mean, he's still taking orders from Sonny, so like Yeah. What's good, Melly Mama Horror Queen? Okay, so yeah, and it's just like, come on, your mom and your sister are lawyers. You're not sitting there thinking that you should, like, you would think that at some point that would just make sense. That's the thing, Ed. Like they write. Well, I'm not Kyrie, so and actually, Kyrie is not. I don't think Kyrie is actually in the stream right now. No. Thomas says I mean, I guess. However, Jack is like 7 years old, and Victor is mostly like in his 80s. But I'm sure. No, I don't know. You Solomon, no. I've seen Eric Braden on the social media. That dude still had hands. Okay, so Solomon, 1 plus 1 equals. Yes, exactly. No, Solomon, the actor Eric Braden, that dude still has hands. Okay, I've seen like him punching the heavy bag and stuff like that. Dude still got hands. Um, I guess Solomon, I would just find it a little kind of laughable at this point that you had think about this, Solomon. You have two senior citizens throwing hands at this point. This isn't a soap opera anymore. This is a comedy show. Okay, Mel. Hopefully I get a chance to watch it tomorrow, and maybe if I have time, I'll do a review. But that's the thing, though, Ed. It's like they are writing Christina so dumb at this point that it's like I find it more harder to have sympathy and take the character more serious when she does. And the thing is, Ed, this is not the first time that she did not talk. This is not the first time that she talked to a cop without a lawyer. It's like she just starts spouting off, and it's like, bro, you're a little bit too old to be sitting there just doing things that if you did this in your teenage years, cool. When Lexi played the character, she looked a lot more younger, so I can see her doing stupidness like this. But Kate Mansi being more of a grown ass adult, it's like, come on, like what are we doing at this point? Is exactly, yeah. That's why I was like, you have two geriatric senior citizens throwing hands. Come on, and it's like I get some of the way that the writing is for the Young and Restless can be considered laughable, but like there's laughable, and then there's like, okay, come on, like just stop it. You know, like they got a 4 year renewal. Don't blow it by doing crackheaded things like that. But yeah, makes sense, Mel. Makes sense. Oh, okay, so they are returning. Okay, makes sense. I mean, I know they are doing. At some point, they're doing. Victor's not Victor. Doug's funeral. So Johnson's everyone's going to learn next week. Yeah, that is true, Jonathan. And then we get to finally get rid of Connie for good at this point. Jonathan, I mean, I saw the previews. It did look good. I've been sitting there saying from day one, all roads eventually lead back to Clyde Weston. But the great thing is that we're going to sit there and start to finally see the end. That stupid ass character named Connie Vaneski. So I'm happy. That puts a smile on my face. Thomas says you said Victor and Jack fighting in 2024 would be a comedy show. If they can't fight each other, at least I want to see them trade. And so, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Solomon, they're good at that. Like Victor's one-liners is great. Oh, is Vanisky. You know, it's weird, Jonathan, because I could have swore them say was Vineski. Okay. By the way, Jonathan, well, first of all, thank you for correcting me so this way I don't look like a fool. But also, very happy. But I just, I've been over that character for a hot minute. I think most people have been. Denzel says, yeah, what's good? How do you feel about the writing putting? Oh, okay. Thank you, Jonathan. Denzel, first of all, let's say what's up to Denzel. But Anna has her badass moments. I will sit there and say that much. For her character being kind of annoying, she does kind of have her badass moments. And so I think that's kind of where she shines a little bit. So I'm kind of cool with it in a weird way, Denzel. Let's hope it's trying to. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for correcting me. Now. Makes sense. He is still in the coma. Okay. Maybe I read that wrong. Yeah. See, this is what happens when you hit the like button. We have people like Denzel here. Absolutely, Jonathan. My question is, what does Clyde have on those two? Because clearly, that doctor and her are not, you know, they're not doing it just out of militia. Like they don't seem like they're terrible people. They seem like they're kind of doing it um, because they don't have a choice. Okay, just ask them to me if they don't fit as a couple. Oh no, no. I wouldn't sit there. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't go as far as a couple. No, Denzel. I mean, let's be honest. Um, he dated her daughter. So no, Denzel. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just talking about putting them together in like action scenes, not like Yeah, no, Denzel. Romantically, that would be weird because Robin and Jason were dating. So like, how you gonna sit there and date Mom Dukes? No, that's weird. But her being some action scenes, her being the spy and stuff like that, that kind of like Lakita kind of thing. I mean Nikita kind of thing. That's what I'm interested in. Johnson says it's possible that Marcy could make an appearance first if she doesn't stay on the show, and then when Abigail prepares. But would you be okay with that, Joe Johnson? That's my. I remember you put this up before, but would you actually be okay with that? Now says I got good news that the Bold and Beautiful is casting an actress between the ages of 18 to 20. Brittany and Mike be a love triangle. Oh joy, a love triangle. That I mean, it's cool that they have a new actress. That's cool. Um, but the minute that it turns into a love triangle, that's where I just kind of. I know it's a soap opera, so it's a trope, and it's just something that I kind of have to accept. And at least it will give Will and RG something to do. I don't know exactly how much good news it is. Thomas says this is why we need a storyline with Victor facing legal troubles and possibly going to jail. Jack will considerably hold it over his head to say something like "See ya in jail, buddy." I can go with that, Solomon. I can go with Victor actually being in some sort of trouble. Um, it has to be a good storyline though. It actually has to be a good storyline, Solomon, because Victor is a very smart person, so it can't just be anything. Like they would actually have to sit there and make it a legit reason why he would go to jail. Something that even the great Victor Newman can't get out of. They can pull that off, then it can actually work. And I don't just mean like an actual troll, jokey joke thing that you're talking about, Simon, but like an actual good story. They can pull that off. This is okay. I'm gonna just ask him, but did you hear or read that Tracy Johnson Cody Sash relationship? No, Denzel. That was a theory. That was a theory. That I'm not gonna lie, Denzel. That would have made a good story, but that's not why she's jealous. She doesn't like Cody in a romantic way. She likes Cody as a friend, and she feels that Sasha and his new family, spending time with Sasha and his new family is going to take him away from Tracy. What's good, Tommy? And that's why she's upset, not because of any sort of romantic inklings or anything like that. It's more of a Tracy's lost a lot of people in her life. Thank you, Jonathan. Johnson says Rafe had a lot more to do back in the day, and they should do more with him. As Commissioner Anna is the commissioner, they still giving her stuff. Jonathan, I heard Hughes actually had some good storylines back in the day. I heard he used to sit there and be with Sammy. I think when I watched it, he had this thing with Hope. I don't know what happened with their relationship, but he seemed like he had some good days before I started watching it. That's true, Tommy. That is Kyle's life story. He's a privileged prick. The problem is, Tommy, if she got fired, what's she really do on the show at that point? I mean, yeah, Jonathan. I mean, just for the overall story, yes, with Rafe and I mean, Jonathan, I think it would be a miracle if they can find a way to pull off where Sophia is not as annoying. But I doubt that. I mean, I feel you on that though. I mean, hell, they're getting rid of Connie, so that's already an improvement in my book. I'll say that much. It's already an improvement in my book. I mean, yeah, no, it'd be nice. I don't know if I would love it as much as you, but I mean, it'd be nice if oh, she has a 1 year contract. That's right, Ed. Hurricane Sammy is coming back. So that should be interesting. Simon says, I mean, I can see Victor being stupid and committing bankruptcy fraud, thinking that he's too old and above the law to go to jail. But on the other hand, maybe he would have more sense. Okay, Solomon. Okay. I, I mean, if that's okay, that's cool. Yeah, you did, man. You did. You did call it. Props to you, man. Tommy says I won't feel bad for Kyle and Arjun when they get fired. I mean, let's be honest, Tommy. Kyle getting fired doesn't Kyle getting fired doesn't do anything for his bank account. He's rich. Archer getting fired, that would actually do something. Your guess is as good as mine, Ed. I only started watching the show like about 3 years ago, so but the thing is, Ed, the fact that she's coming back is kind of huge because I think that she stayed away as long as she did because of that creepy ass Alar guy. Denzel says, "I would imagine Sonny and Victor saw each other and teamed up. Oh, that'd be unstoppable, Ed. I mean, Denzel, that'd be unstoppable. Victor and Sonny. But the thing is, though, Denzel, who do you think would win between Victor and Sonny? You had to sit there and bet your money on. Who would you sit there and put your money on? Well, Tommy, the thing is, yeah, he needs to do a lot of things, Tommy. But the thing is, he feels that he's old. My night is going really well, Tommy. Hope your night is going well too. Okay, so Ed has his money on Victor. Okay. It would cherish him, but who do you think would actually, who do you think will come out on top between Victor and Sonny? Jonathan, for right now, I can't disagree with you, but I would have to think about all the bad um, villains, and she was definitely pretty bad. I don't know if she was bad, but I think she was just, was she bad or was she annoying? Or was she both? I think she was annoying. Well, Tommy, I agree with you. And the thing is, Tommy, when Victor winds up betraying her, when Victor winds up betraying her, I'm not gonna feel bad for her. Thomas says, I hope that Adam and Chelsea and Billy and Phyllis to get together. I don't need to see any Adam and Sally or Billy and Sally on my screen ever, ever. Ever is a long time. Denzel says, I don't think that top for me is Sunny and Victor is my homies. I gotta pick side. Okay, all right, so we're picking a side. Okay. I get it, Cherry I get it. I guess it's kind of hard to sit there and judge when you don't watch the other show. But okay. This is wow. So it's a movie that's coming strictly on HBO Max. Okay, well, that's interesting. So I think he'll get along with Sonny Great. This is the same guy that. Oh, that is crazy, Solomon. But your money's on Sonny. Okay. Hey, did you just say? Oh yeah, you did say Sonny. Okay. Okay. All right. It is actually getting late, so I think I'm gonna sit there and call it a wrap for tonight. But I do want to thank everyone for joining us. This is actually a lot of fun. I really do appreciate everyone's patience. I know I didn't stream yesterday. I had to wake up super early, so yeah, I couldn't stream yesterday. But anyway, hope everyone has a great weekend. If you are not a member, make sure you join and become a member. This way you can sit there, continue the conversation with me throughout the weekend. We're gonna have a good time this weekend. And everyone else, you have a great night. Have a good night, Mel. Melly Mama Heart Queen. Have a good night, Blackmon. Have a good night, Ed. Johnson says, join us next time for another edition of Show Chat with Bostic. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, Mel. Thank you. Have a good night, Denzel. It was really great to meet you tonight. Happy birthday, Darby. And I gotta sit there and my birthday shout out for you. Yes, you have a great weekend, Denzel. And I hope I get to sit there and see you next weekend. Have a good night, Mel. Have a good night, Solomon. Have a good night, Darby. Melly Mel, Cherry Ice Cream, Michelle. There we go. Have a good night, Queen Becky D. Have a good night, Cherry Ice Cream. Oh, of course, Darby, of course. I was going to sit there and post my thing earlier, but like everything just kind of just starts speeding up, sped up. It's sped up. Uh, yeah. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see y'all in the next stream. Yep. Have a good night, Melly Mel. Laters.